Hey y'all, welcome to Robyn on the Farm. Today I'm going to be making some 100% whole wheat bread, and I'm going to make it entirely in my bread machine. This morning I got out my wheat grinder and I ground up some fresh flour, and so I'm excited to make some bread today, and I'm just going to show you how I do it. It's really an easy recipe. I'm just going to throw everything in this bread pan and let my bread machine make it all for me. So super simple. Let's just get started. First, I'm going to start with 1 1/4 cups of milk. This is whole milk. I pop this into the microwave for about 1.5 minutes to get it kind of warm. So 1 1/4 cups milk. You can use whole, skim, whatever you have. Okay, just throw that in your bread pan. Now you want 4 tablespoons of melted butter. You can also use like 4 tablespoons of oil if you want, but I'm going to use melted butter, so just throw that in your bread pan too. Now I'm going to use 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar. Okay, so 1/3 cup. There we go. Okay, now we want our whole wheat flour. If you don't grind your own, you can buy this at the store, but this is hard white winter wheat. So I'm going to put in 3 1/2 cups of whole wheat flour. I'm kind of on a whole wheat kick again. I kind of go in phases. Sometimes I just like to eat some good old white bread, and then sometimes I go back to my whole wheat breads and I'm like, oh, these are just so good. I love whole wheat bread because it's filling. I just feel like we can eat a whole lot less of it and be satisfied, and obviously it's way better for us. So I've been enjoying whole wheat bread lately. Okay, so 3 1/2 cups of whole wheat flour right into your bread pan. Now we want 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Just throw that right on top of there, 1 1/2 teaspoons. Now we want some yeast. This is my active dry yeast. You can also use instant yeast if you want to, but you're gonna put in 2 teaspoons of yeast, just right on top of all that. I store this in my freezer and I just get it out right before I make bread. You don't have to let it come to room temperature or anything like that. So store it in your freezer, it'll last forever. Now, these are totally optional. I'm gonna use, this is my dough enhancer. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon in there, just gonna throw it in. And this is my Vital Wheat gluten. This is totally optional. I just like the texture of my whole wheat breads when I use this a little bit better. Just lets them be a little more fluffy, lets it rise a little bit better. So I'm gonna use these. Totally optional, you don't have to use these if you don't have them. So use what you have. If you don't have them, don't put them in. But I do like them, and I totally recommend using Vital Wheat gluten and dough enhancer in your whole wheat breads. Okay, so these are all of our ingredients already. So easy. Now I'm just gonna throw this into my bread maker. This is my old bread maker. This thing has probably made thousands of loaves of bread for me, for real, over the years. So let's see, I am gonna just use, I know there's a whole wheat setting on most bread makers, but I like to use just the regular basic white setting. The thing I don't like about the whole wheat setting is that it takes a while to get started. I think it preheats, it does something, and it takes a while, and I forget to check my ball of dough when it takes that long. So I like to just use the plain old basic white setting, and it'll start kneading right away. And it's so important for you to check your dough ball within the first few minutes of your bread machine going. You don't ever want to just throw everything in there and set your bread machine and walk away. You want to check the consistency of your dough. And then once you do that, once you know that you have a nice ball of dough, then you're good just to walk away and let this totally knead and rise and bake all in your bread machine. So I've set it just to the basic light crust, and I'm gonna press start. I'm gonna let this knead up just for a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna take a spatula and kind of get all the extra flour and stuff that's on the sides and let it get all incorporated really well. But I'll show you that part. Okay, I just peeked at my dough. It's just been kneading up for about probably 3 or 4 minutes. And immediately I know that this is too wet. I need to add some more whole wheat flour. I'm gonna add about another 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour because I want this to all come together into a nice ball of dough. come in with a spatula, kind of help it out around the edges. Help it all incorporate in there. Yeah, it's already looking better. Look at that. Okay, now it's looking great. This is what you want your ball of dough to look like for your whole wheat bread. Now I'm just gonna close the lid and let the bread machine do its thing. I'm gonna let it totally bake in the bread machine today. It's gonna be so easy. There we go. That is my very favorite jam. Other than homemade freezer strawberry jam, that's probably my favorite, but this is my favorite jam to get at the store. This is gonna be amazing bread. I think we'll probably just eat this as snacks for the next day or two. But thank you for being here with me on Robyn on the Farm. I am gonna leave the recipe down in the description and you can try this bread. I will see you next time on Robyn on the Farm.